Hi, everyone. Oh, my goodness. Here we are on another Explore the Akash. Yes, this is Val with Dragonfly Crystals with my wonderful co-host or channeler, Aley, aka Alice, on Heart and Soul Connected. Yes, we're on Heart and Soul Connected. I've all pointed you here from my post, and we're going to be asking Aley questions to ask the channel through from the Akashic Record Masters. So she's all prepared for that. And I'm excited because we have some amazing questions. Great. And I want to say thank you to everyone who joined us. SR, hi. CJ, Jazz, Sonia, Rossi, Laura, Lottie B, Linda Bishop, good to see you. We have absolutely, did I say Laura Hammond Davis? I don't remember.
There's Laura. Yeah.
And, you know, all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Charlie. I know it's early on the Pacific. Well, early for some.
Early
11,
for some.
11, wait, I'm still asleep. No, but Anna, hi. So we're just going to get a few things out of the way. Hi, Wiki. Get a few things out of the way while everybody's coming in. And that is, you know, what things do you have coming up, Aley, on your channel that you want people to know about?
Oh, okay. So postponed from last week was Pam Drinnan, and she'll be on with me at 1 o'clock or in a couple hours. And she does the clearings and the calibrations. And so she'll be doing that. We have the dream show tonight. Tomorrow, I'm on with Loretta from Mother's Tarot, who is going to be explaining. She has some new cards that she put out. And she's also going to be doing she's going to be offering some kind of a healing class. So we're going to talk about that. And then we got the sisters at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
And I've got mediums, meeting with the mediums Thursday. And on Friday of July 4th, I'll be here with a panel of people to do some readings. Just pulling cards just to kind of, and happy Canada Day to everybody.
Yes, happy Canada Day.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So you can ask questions, but they are questions that are for the collective, not personal ones.
Exactly. Because this is really exploring the multiverse and our connection to it as a group of humans. So, and I want to tell everyone, I on Thursday will be on Akashic Adventures.
Ooh, good.
Linda Day Gonzalez, I believe, will be hosting that show. It's at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So tune in for that. And then on Monday, the 7th, I'll be on Arthur's channel with a Q&A there. So I'm looking forward to that. And also, you can still sign up for the Akashic Record Reading class, which is July 19th, everyone. So that is a very powerful $49 that you invest yourself.
Very well invested. Yes, definitely. And in August, Val and I are doing medium class again.
Yes, we are. We already have signups for that. So anyone who, this is, what is it, August? Here it is.
2, 9, and...
Yep,
16?
2, 9, and 16, right. So sign up for that because you will be channeling the loved ones who have crossed over, you know, in that psychic mediumship class. We were just blown away by the last group. They were just like, beautifully powerful connections to the group. So Dragonfly Crystal Store if you want to sign up for those. And hi Marina, Art Center Tarot, good to have you here. MJ, Donna, and let's see, Red Onion, Miss Sherlock, hello, Mary, Hibiscus, Red Dragon, good to see you. Okay, Mary, so I hope I didn't miss anyone.
I saw Mary here, and
Mary, Donna Marie. Okay, Donna Marie.
Can I just say that? Can I please just say that I am feeling a bit better after having Val walk me through a meditation. So and have my Tylenol. So I'm going to try to do the very best I can today. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So everyone, We're going to start moving into the records now. And we have questions for the Akashic Record Masters. And the first one is about, the first set of questions is about Earth changes and time splits. And we want to know, is Earth splitting into two Earths, or are we simply shifting vibrational timelines?
The masters say that actually both things are occurring simultaneously. There is a reintegration of give me the word. There's more activity that is continuing to happen inside the Earth. Some of those things are shifting the volcanic activity and also shifting the magnetic core and the ley lines and so forth. So some of that is happening. This becomes more of a spiritual shift than it does a physical shift, although there are physical shifts that are occurring at the same time. The second part of the question was, what was the second thing?
Or are we simply shifting vibrational timelines? And I think you did answer.
Okay.
Speak to that, which absolutely makes sense. And thank you. I mean, that did answer that quite well. And I love that. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And are there parallel versions of Earth? And are we accessing them during dream time or sleep meditation, or deep meditation rather? Parallel versions of Earth, and are we accessing them during dream time or deep meditation?
There are alternative versions of Earth. You would call them parallel universes. And when we have deja vu experiences or precognitive experiences where we're experiencing something we've already experienced before, and this is due to that parallel universe where we have maybe shifted between those two. I believe that Akashic Records Masters are saying the recent shift after the election and the way that in another parallel universe of Earth, another area of planetary action, the woman won the election and everything is being handled differently. We volunteered to stay in this one to bring up the vibration so that the two could be reintegrated into each other. Many of us are resistant to staying in it because it's becoming more and more uncomfortable. However, they're saying that this other Earth, this parallel version, is lifting the vibration from outside the current timeline we're in and helping to us to ascend to the level where we'll be matching that vibration soon. When that happens, we'll still have some people living the lie, but it won't be as rampant as it currently is in this Earth.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for that great explanation, Akashic Record Masters. And what role do solar flares and the Schumann resonance spikes play in our ascension process?
The solar flares are creating within our DNA rapid growth to accelerate us to the fifth dimension. This comes through in myriad of ways, but there's a lot of physical pain involved in that ascension process. As this entity knows, the solar flares are very difficult on us who have autoimmune diseases. And it is because there is something more that has to break through in that, rather than if somebody had full health without any kind of physical issues. It also is increasing. There's a lot of animals that are leaving the planet, and they're preparing their way to come back to us as their DNA has shifted. But in order for the vibration to be raised in domesticated animals, they have to physically die in order for their DNA to ascend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That was wonderful. And my next question is, how are the crystalline grids of Earth evolving, and how do they affect human consciousness?
Many people are seeing an elevation in the crystalline grids, and the information that's contained therein is being accessed through downloads and star codes and other work with the extraterrestrial population. These star codes, these crystalline grids, are working in tandem with the ability to work on physical starships without having to leave one's, without having to bring one's body to the ships.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. Are there ancient civilizations like Lemuria or Atlantis activating within Earth's etheric layers? Reactivating. In case I said activating, are they reactivating?
Yeah, reactivating.
Yeah.
Yes, they are reactivating in the southern pole of the world. They have been lying dormant for the longest time. Their Akashic Records Masters believe that one of those civilizations actually was in the Antarctic area and is being revealed bit by bit. It was covered when the Ice Age came, and it's going to bring us lots and lots of information, including new ways of doing things. And there are extraterrestrial bases down in that area too, and in the Mariana Trench.
Ooh, well, that's deep.
Very deep.
Thank you. Well, that's exciting. And the next set of questions are about the origin of the soul and divine blueprint. And the first question is, what was our first purpose upon individuating from source as soul sparks?
There is some truth to the book of Genesis. However, it has been, as you humans say, bastardized by the higher echelon, taking free reign over it. However, it was to propagate the human species and to care for the other species that were on the planet, to bring the expressions of love and commitment and understanding, working together in tandem with peace. However, the apple that so apparently was blamed upon the woman, or Eve, in that biblical chapter, was a mutual agreement. And this sort of set the stage for the oppression of women over time, even though there were civilizations that were run very well by women. The manipulation of these particular chapters have created probably more problems for the soul than they hoped would explain that process.
Okay, thank you so much for your explanation, Akashic Record Masters. And how would we receive, or how do we receive a soul? Is it chosen, gifted, or cultivated?
Beautiful question. The gift of a soul that we carry with us over all lifetimes we incarnate in and live in other etheric places is partially determined by one's ability and willingness to grow. We are gifted by many aspects of the soul that we can explore. It's almost as though it is a diamond in the rough. Mm-hmm. And each lifetime, each contract, each incarnation makes that diamond shine more and more until we are at the point where we are much like a star and we can just oversee and watch from above, if that's what we choose to do.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that answer, Akashic Record Masters. And I just want to say hi to Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot for being here. Hello, good to see you. And we're going to move on to the next question, which is, what is the original divine blueprint of humanity, and has it been altered?
The divine blueprint of humanity was set in place many millennia ago by various extraterrestrial cultures and the hybrid integration of such cultures. It has shifted. It has shifted in ways that are not able to be explained at the current juncture, but in other ways, it has shown the ability of that which came from stardust that can be brought to a planet in order to create a huge school for entities to learn and grow and understand what their particular blueprint is. It is much like a It's much like Metatron's cube in that, or in the Kabbalah, where there are all of these interactions between lines and dots. Interestingly enough, it was also the blueprint for Morse code, which is lines and dots, because it was something that the extraterrestrials could understand besides math in order to communicate with the masses.
Okay, thank you for that. Wonderful. Are we still operating from our original soul template, or have many been distorted or fragmented? So are we still operating from our original soul template, or have there been distortions or fragmentations?
Distortions and fragmentations occur because sentient man has free will, and there are people who refuse to follow the blueprint that was assigned, especially after the flood and after the collapse of ancient civilizations. But those things are not completely gone. There remains inside that original blueprint the ability to return to it should people choose to do so.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And what role of star seeds and wanderers, what is the role, rather, of star seeds and wanderers in restoring original soul coding?
The star seeding plan is not to interfere, although at times they have interfered in this particular coding. Some nefarious, as you know, all of you know, the Akashic records say there are people, there are entities, there are extraterrestrials that hold negativity. And this does not mean that there aren't others that can come over that. They all as well have their own lessons that they need to learn and soul contracts that they are trying to follow.
Okay. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. Wonderful. And we're moving to reincarnation, karma, and soul contracts. So what determines how or when a soul reincarnates on Earth?
When the soul's physical body passes, they move to a place of respite and calm for a period of time, perhaps up to 6 weeks, maybe more, where they're in between and they're just resting. It's an exhausting thing to live in this density. Once that is accomplished, they look back on their lifetimes or their most recent lifetime and make an analysis of how it went. And once they do that, they have the opportunity to stay for a while, take some more classes or whatever they need to learn on the other side. And then they can choose to come back and reincarnate. And they already know it's going to be difficult because reincarnating on the earth is the hardest planet to incarnate into because of the density, number one, and the fact that everyone has the free will to do what they wish.
So true. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Akashic Record Masters. Can we negotiate or release soul contracts in this lifetime? Soul contracts with other people. Yeah.
Soul contracts can be renegotiated. Some of this is seen by walk-ins. if a soul just has a perfectly good body, an ability to be useful. But there's also times when soul contracts change us depending upon things that have happened to us within this lifetime. And they shake us up so much that one of the Akashic records are pointing to, for instance, drug addicts, alcoholics that have been able to change their behavior and move into sobriety, or and so not all people will be able to do this, but some will, and they will almost seem like a completely different person. But it was one of their contracts was to live in shadow. And once that shadow has been seen and dealt with, they can move into the opposing, much lighter, happier contract.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Is karma still relevant in the new Earth frequencies?
They're showing me a big bus. I believe that they are showing me the karma bus. Number one is a joke, but they're also saying you cannot escape whether it's here or there. There are many people who believe that karma has been cleared, and I believe that that could be true for higher level understanding beings that have met a certain criteria. They aren't any better than anybody else, but they have had, I believe you call them wounded healers. And a lot of those have had epiphanies and understanding of already before they exit the planet of what they did incorrectly. Karma will continue, however, because we all reap what we sow. It might be in this lifetime, but it might not.
Okay, thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And what does it mean to complete the reincarnation cycle? Do we return to source or evolve into something new?
It is well known that incarnating on other planets is something that all people here on Earth have done at least once or twice, some of us many, many times. So we have the opportunity to incarnate, let's say, on a watery planet where we can, they're showing me fans and grapes. It's almost like, you can lay down and be fed grapes and have fans, they're saying that started with the Egyptians, but that's not true. And that doesn't mean people are slaves to what we desire. It merely means it is a metaphor for relaxation and rest. It's like a great vacation. Otherwise, the reincarnation cycle can be decided by the soul. And if they've had issues that have not been able to be cleared by other lifetimes in their soul contracts, and they're carrying the load, they have the ability to come back here in it and clear it faster than they would be able to do if they were on the other side. But once on the other side, some become angelic helpers, some become our guides, kind of like Clarence on It's a Wonderful Life. Some of them are working hard to do that. All art and entertainment comes from spirit. Everything you see is already in place, and the writers and the producers of such pieces had intuitive understanding of that when they have created these movies or books or whatever, because everything is channeled from the divine.
Mhm.
They wanted me to say that because there are so many more movies and things coming out that are going to give us little pieces of other things as we move along.
Wonderful. Well, that's something to look forward to. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Do we choose our parents and life themes, or are we assigned based on soul, or are they assigned based on soul growth? Do we choose our parents and life themes, or are they assigned based on soul growth?
Actually, both. However, there are times when one has to take an available body, and parent is becomes a source of that vessel. In order for, usually they are paired up with soul mission and soul contract. However, many people believe that they don't feel at home, and they never felt at home in their families. And there was something about that. And the reason is because they were just an available body for that soul at that time.
Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And we're moving on to another topic of guides, guardians, and galactic lineages. And the first question is, how do we recognize our primary soul guide or soul family?
Our soul guides can be revealed to us in dreams, and we may not recognize who they are, but they come across, and we in our dream state say, for instance, you don't look like my husband, wife, brother, but you're my brother. And of course, that's the past life connection. So there's some of that going on. The soul family connection is finding that group of people who hold space for themselves and each other in loving and kind ways, and have incarnated many, many times together, and or being called, being asked by their own guides to connect in that soul community of different light beings, different souls who have different levels of knowledge. They bring the whole enchilada together. Thank you. You are always making me laugh. Thank you. Yeah. I see an enchilada.
It's the enchilada.
Yes, it's all the enchiladas. That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. And the next question is, what role do galactic councils like the Arcturians or Pleiadians play in the evolution of Earth?
People will be amazed by the acuity and brilliance of the extraterrestrial guardians, as they know the future. They have the ability to see that if this happens, while the human can estimate if this happens, this will happen. They can see it as if watching it on a screen. And they move from that information and try to decidedly help others in order for the worst case scenario not to occur. However, they are always being cautioned as well that the earth souls have free will. Once again, they need us to fall down and skin our knees and put the band-aids on, probably over and over again, because the human is stubborn, and they say they want to know the answers, but there is some reticence.
Okay. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters, for that answer. And can one soul be connected to multiple star lineages simultaneously?
Ooh. They're showing me Gemini, which is the twins.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost what they're wanting me to see is that there is the ability to come from one and become two.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, think about the twins and think about what we say about them here on the earth, and think about people that are twins, actually, that their experience of their life is never exactly the same, although they feel very, very connected throughout life, usually. And they're saying this is the concept. So yes, the answer is yes, they can exist simultaneously on two different planets. Or
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Akashic Record Masters. And what is the relationship between our Oversoul and our current incarnation?
The Oversoul is much like the Akashic Records in that it holds all lessons and feelings and experiences of our own particular souls within it. This is why we have things occur to us, or we're interested in something that may seem unusual for our personality, or we feel drawn to a certain particular place in history or a certain particular place on the planet. The Oversoul holds it and releases that information when applicable, but it also acts as a guide for us. And it's almost low. And once you ask it to work with you, like you do a guide or an angel or an archangel, it will guide you toward most beneficial outcome if there is a belief in such.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. How do beings like Seraphim and Elohim or any other collective assist in soul restoration?
Ah. Oh my God, I got the grapes again and the fans. Yeah, they're very, very much they're healers, mm-hmm. And they're seen when the soul takes a rest in between lifetimes or after they've decided not to incarnate again. There is a beautiful area in the consciousness where music and light and color works its healing magic, and those angels work on that level.
Is that, are you complete? Okay, thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That was wonderful. And we're moving to another set of questions that are related to creation, consciousness, and divine technology. Was humanity originally created by Source or by other beings?
Source is other beings. This is why many people recognize extraterrestrials many times as angelic. There are people that believe, and the Akashic Records are saying this is a common belief, but not necessarily all true. It can happen this way, mm-hmm. But the integration of other beings and we're seeing this uncovered now on the earth, that the integration between other beings of different species that has never been excavated before are being unraveled and seen now. So there is that, because many people cannot believe Adam and Eve would be able to populate the entire planet. It seems too far-fetched to the human being. Yeah, and there's a reason why it does, because it's impossible. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Akashic Record Masters. That makes sense. And is there a metaphysical explanation for DNA upgrades or activations?
As many humans know, there have been derivations in DNA as seen by many babies born that have Down syndrome. And so these babies are the highest angelic beings on the earth. They continue to be brought in under love and acceptance and joy. So there can also be other DNA upgrades that can change the strands. Some of it has to do with the ecosystem, the food that's eaten, the belief system. A lot of what we believe can happen can happen because we believe it will happen. And a lot of it is reintegration of DNA while we rest, so that it's not as painful as it might be. It's like being surgically operated on with anesthesia instead of none.
Ooh. Ow. Okay. Yeah. That's a good analogy. Okay. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. How does the Akashic field connect to the quantum field?
Oh, wow. They're showing me two fields, but then there's an integration point between the two, like a doorway into this next field. They're saying that we've come through the Akashic field really well, and some people have been able to access the quantum field. This will be more activated within the next 25 years, where we will be able to work within the quantum field in order to do the work that we cannot all currently do at the time.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. It's something to look forward to, too. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Is consciousness non-local? And are we dreaming this life into being from another realm?
All consciousness is the non-local. It's collective. It's collective not only here on the earth, but also with planetary. We can see your question is much like the movie The Matrix, where we are seemingly brains in a vat, so that it becomes just a dream and the reality. And many scientists have said, is this the dream that we're living in, or is when we go to bed and dream the real reality? And part of the dream experience is to seek explanation and let go of that which is in this realm. But there is there are times that we are outside of the body when we astral travel and so forth. And I can see that they're saying these might be the times when we are dreaming the earth, or we are dreaming the existence, remembering that thoughts are things, and we can bring into our reality that which is more acceptable for ourselves and others.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. So, what is the divine spark, and can it ever be extinguished?
The divine spark is the soul. And even in death, it is not extinguished. You will see the light fluctuate in times of sorrow, in times of war, in times of illness, but it never completely burns out. It is much like the eternal flame.
Mm. Mm. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Which moves us to our last topic, future visions and ascension pathways. What does humanity's collective future look like in 100 years?
They're showing me two worlds. And they're saying you have been warned about the climate and what will occur if things do not change, if fossil fuels are not stopped from being useful, from not using solar. There is a deep division on the earth, not only within your culture, but throughout the culture. And so it is up to us. The entity Al Gore, back in 1999, 2000, said, it's an inconvenient truth.
Mm-hmm.
So but if it can be changed, I don't think it's going to be too late, but it could have been better had it been done earlier. So what I see is we still have that ability to make the change. Whether or not the collective will make the change will determine which way the future will go.
Okay, thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. Are we heading toward a golden age or another great cycle of forgetting?
A golden age is possible. However, what you are seeing currently is nothing. People don't remember. We're in a period of forgetting. People don't remember. And because people don't remember, a golden age cannot be achieved. So there's a stripping down of all things to their bare minimum. Some of this are seen by horrendous activities in bombings and such. But the ability to remember lies in peril. And if we do not remember, then we will not have a golden age for many, many years.
Okay, thank you, Akashic Record Masters, for that picture. And what role do light workers play in the current dimensional transition?
There is no small job. Light workers are needed to uplift the vibration of humanity. It has been shown that once a certain amount of light workers are working on the same thing, then there is a paradigm shift. There is a tipping point. Some of this is being achieved on the political level with regard to protesting, not only for the political regimes, but also for education and women and African Americans and LGBTQ. All of those people are light workers. They don't have to all be what is considered spiritual light workers. They are warriors. So a spiritual light worker is a warrior as well, a warrior for the light. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And is there a single ascension event, or is it a gradual process unfolding within?
The Akashic records are saying it is unfolding within, and it is different for everyone. Not everyone will have the same ascension experience as the next person. However, they will know in their heart of hearts that there is something different, something that has shifted, maybe a perspective has shifted. It's much like the idea of the Christ consciousness being Jesus reborn. It isn't that, it's us understanding that we own the Christ consciousness and that we can live it. And this is an ascension process as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. That's profound. And how would we, or how do we anchor fifth dimensional consciousness while still navigating 3D systems?
They're saying this is one of the hardest things to navigate for us. There has been a schism that's very, very apparent. They're saying we don't judge. We don't want to be the ones that create any kind of negativity. But this is the battle between good and evil, and good doesn't look like it's winning, but good always wins.
Oh, wonderful. Good to know, Akashic Record Masters. And we only have time for maybe 2 more questions. But we're going to ask, what is the true origin of the human emotional body? And is it unique to Earth? Was it always part of our design or a later addition?
It would seem that it has always been with us because of one of the most important things to get over in the emotional body, which is judgment. Judgment is one of the hardest emotional states to move through, and belief in shame, belief in guilt. This has been shown to us over many thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, and was not a component that was expected to show up, but a later did. So it's an evolution. It was an evolution.
Okay, that's a great explanation. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And how are dreams used by the Akashic Records to communicate with us? Are some dreams literal journeys into the records?
Some journeys are dreams into the records. Some journeys are speaking with those on the other side. It's a very convenient place to meet up and spend time with loved ones on the other side. It also highlights our fears and our evolution through things that are difficult while we're in the waking state. And it requires us to take the symbolic language and decode it where a lot of people feel like it was just craziness. It makes no sense. But that's because it has to be decoded. And we are the only ones that understand what those symbols mean, which makes it difficult for some who are starting out.
Yeah, that's great. Good point. And thank you so much for that information, Akashic Record Masters. And one last question is, what is the role of sound, music, and frequency in activating dormant soul memories? Are certain tones encoded to unlock the Akash within us?
Some of the human souls are not attracted by music, notes, and this was something that they decided not to work with in this lifetime. Others can, so to speak, return to the memory of hearing those sounds and feeling the energy of the soul in the body at the time those sounds first came into their incarnation world. This is also why many people also feel this way about music and sounds from other centuries or that have been around, and the angelic sounds. They have been tried to be replicated with tuning forks and sound bowls because the energy of music uplifts most of us and or touches the emotion. And sometimes we also wallow in the emotion of sadness, and we choose songs and sounds that allow us to feel the sadness instead of trying to let it just go away and stay away and blind ourselves from it. Sound is very important. And the mother and the father, their voice, the voice of loved ones is also included in this.
Very, very impactful. Thank you so much for that insight and information, Akashic Record Masters. And thank you for this, Aley. Thank you for channeling for all this time, an hour's worth, everyone. We thank you, Aley, Alice, for this beautiful channeling. We got tons of amazing information that I hope you all can appreciate and go back and re-listen to it, because I know you were all chatting and some of you were able to hear some of it, but it is pretty profound information and something that revisiting it can really let it sink in. Lots of questions, lots. So all of you, thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. So we'll be in 2 weeks, Aley. We'll be on my Dragonfly Crystals channel, and I'll be channeling. And yeah, do the replay on this, everyone, and really listen to it again if you can, because it's really wonderful. Thank you so much. And with that,
thank you, and everybody in the chat. Thank you.
Everyone,
hoi, 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 Garnet. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.